Every photographer with a little bit of experience will tell you that the moment is more powerful than composition. And yet, when we go online, we see a lot of beautifully composed images, but very few moment-driven ones. So today we will learn how to make photographs that not only look pretty, but also carry meaningful moments. But first thing first, what is a moment? It's a split second in time that can never be replicated exactly the same. Out of the infinite stream of happenings around you, you choose one moment and make it an eternity. Pressing the shutter button in your camera is in a way like pressing the pause button on life. And while composition can be recreated, the raw emotion of a moment is impossible to recreate. Once you capture it, it's yours forever. Okay, so every time I press the shutter button, I capture a meaningful moment? Well, yes and no. We always capture a slice of timeline, but if your camera wasn't pointed at something interesting, or if nothing worthwhile was happening, the photo won't be as meaningful as we would want to. So a good question to ask yourself and a good starting point in understanding photography is, where do we point the camera? Is there something interesting there? What do I want to say by freezing this particular moment? The more of these type of questions we can answer to ourselves, the better your moments will be. And the truth is that you can find moments everywhere. They don't have to be the winning jump of an athlete or Messi lifting the World Cup. Everyday life is full of these little spontaneous moments. You can see them on the street, in a cafe, on a bus, or a metro. If you observe carefully, you will find them. The key to seeing moments lies in your personal ability to observe. So the key to see moments lies in your ability to observe. The problem is that most of the time we're distracted. We aren't really present. We're on our phones, chatting, or just lost in our minds with our daily problems. So as simple it might sound, observing is something that we don't actually do very often. That's why I invite you to allocate 15 to 20 minutes a day just to observe. Sit on a bench, watch the people passing by. Next time you're in a coffee shop, look at what happens around you. And the next time you're taking public transport, that's another opportunity to observe. There are endless small breaks throughout the day where you can pause and simply observe life. And to develop observation, there is no need in a camera. You can just use your eyes and your mind and pay attention to things that are happening around you. Today, I see moments everywhere. That little boy trying to help a puppy stand, friends splashing water on each other in the river, a child reaching out to touch that passing cow, boys riding on a bicycle together, the tender moment between a grandfather and his grandchild, the dynamics between couples, and many, many more. Often, when we hear moments in photography, we imagine this explosive once-in-a-lifetime event, and we are always kind of searching for that. But that's not the true meaning. Moment can be found everywhere. Quiet, unnoticed moments can be just as valuable and emotional when seen in a photograph. Look around carefully and you will see that moments are everywhere. Your personal life, your family interactions, your friends, they all generate moments. They might have less meaning for strangers, but for you and your loved ones, they're priceless. This is a photograph of my friends, a moment captured in a peaceful afternoon in their home. And this is a photograph from a hike with a friend, where village kids in Africa played with her blonde hair. It was adorable and memorable moment. Even portraiture is a moment. Why do you think we are taking multiple shots of a person? We want to capture a particular moment that that person looks in a particular way. Here's an example of a moment in portraiture. I was heading towards a temple in Mumbai, and outside the temple, as always, there were shops lined with random offerings. But in one of the shops, I noticed a man. He had this interesting face and a distinguished hat, and the background was matching. So I took a shot, then I took a second one, then a third, and within these 3 shots, 3 seconds, his personality changed completely. From a scary-looking man that you might hesitate to approach for a photograph, into an adorable guy with a huge smile. So how do we become better at capturing moments? To become better with moments, you need to combine technical photography skills with mindful presence that helps you anticipate the next moment. The best moments are often spontaneous. Capturing them is a mix of being ready and being connected to your surroundings. The first step would be being an observer. Put your phone away and consciously take in everything: the people, their interactions, their emotional responses, the sounds. Try to feel and relate to what is happening in front of you. If you do that on a regular basis, it will teach you how to anticipate. And knowing what to anticipate, what comes next, has a lot of value. It gives you enough time to prepare your framing before the moment occurs. That extra second is pure gold. Learning to anticipate changes your approach. Instead of chasing moments, you now let them come to you. And yes, I teach composition and I talk about it a lot, but when it comes to moment, embrace the chaos. Embrace that unexpected can happen. Not every moment needs to be perfectly crafted. Some of the most powerful images come from messy, unplanned reality of life. The strongest photos are built on raw, genuine feelings. Pay attention to expressions, gestures, body language. That's where a big chunk of the story lies. Learn to slow down and be patient. Instead of rushing to find a shot, sometimes the best strategy is to stop, stand still, and slowly take in your surroundings. When you race through the streets, your ability to see and perceive information is quite limited. But when you slow down, you suddenly start seeing a lot more. Use that, slow down. Now let's talk about technical skills. A strong technical foundation lets you react quickly when a moment happens. I always insist that my students learn to operate their cameras properly. That barrier, fear of the camera, can be solved in just a week or two, but it should be done. Once you get the camera out of the way, you're free to focus on creativity and free to really explore what kind of photographer you can be. When you're outside on the streets, keep your camera ready, turn it on, set the exposure for the current light, and use a proper shutter speed. In general, 1 over a 500th of a second is a good starting point for most moments. It's not set and forget setting, but it will cover most situations. So try starting with that. If you want to capture a real moment, shoot candidly. Candid photos are often far more genuine than posed ones. And one of the reasons why candid photography is so popular today is that people are tired of fake and posed images designed to manipulate our emotions. People are hungry for authenticity, for real emotion and connection. Give them that and they will appreciate it. Pay attention to light. Good light brings photographs to life and sets the emotional mood. But most importantly, watch for sudden light changes that might require adjustments to your camera exposure settings. You don't want to find yourself being in the moment and having your camera setting with wrong exposure, right? And work your moments. Don't just take one shot and be done with it. Shoot throughout the entire scene development and even a little bit after. Many people think that moments are captured with a single click. But if you look at the Magnum Contact Sheets book, you will see otherwise. You will see that even the best photographers work their scenes, taking plenty of bad photos step by step until they get to that final image. I will link the book in the description below because it's a good one. And even without the book, I know it from my own experience that scene should be worked out properly. Last year, I had a photograph that got some recognition. It took me 9 shots to get to that photograph, starting from a random, very bad frame. And even after the 9 shots, I took 8 more just to make sure that I had worked the scene properly. It's easy to move on after you think you got the shot, but staying just a little longer can give you moments you would otherwise miss. I worked the moment, adjusted my composition, and changed my shooting angle throughout the scene development. I was adjusting myself all the time as the scene developed. I actually showed the full sequence and my thoughtful process in my composition class. You can check the description for details. Now let's get back to composition. To get better at capturing moments, you should practice composition at all times. Moments come fast and you need to react instantly. If you're not trained in composition, there is a good chance you will mess it up. But if you are, you will be able to present the moment in its best way possible. Composition teaches you what to include in your image and what to exclude. Every extra element can weaken your story or worse, compete with it. We don't want that. We want to show exactly what we intended. And that comes from mastering composition and understanding what actually should be in our photograph. And finally, follow your gut. I often find myself randomly choosing a street to walk down, and at the end of it, something incredible is happening. It's as if the photography gods guided me to that spot or to that moment. Some of my best photographs happened in random places. I can't even explain how I got there. So follow your instinct. Let yourself get lost. And most importantly, practice, practice, practice. The only way to become a better photographer is to keep shooting, keep learning, and keep refining. I hope you learned a bit more about how to capture your moments. I will be happy to hear your thoughts in the comments. And see you next time. Happy shooting!